Dr. Owusu Ocho. It's Dr. O for the 804. As the premier knee and hip shoulder sports surgeon in Virginia, I would like to remind you that health equals power. Sports build and uplift communities, nothing else can. The mission of sports medicine is to keep athletes of all ages and levels at the top of their game. Dr. O is located at Ortho, Virginia, Schrader Road office location. Appointments can be scheduled online at orthovirginia.com or by calling 804-939-6688. You can follow Dr. O on Instagram at Dr. O _ for the 804 and uplifting educational content about sports health.
Hi everyone, I'm Coach Rick Stockel. I am co-owner of Newman & Dunn Real Estate here in Central Virginia, as well as I am a high school boys basketball coach at Monacan High School. I've sold over 1,300 homes here in Central Virginia, and I would love to work with you and your family in your home buying needs. I am a proud primary sponsor of Ballin in Virginia, and I hope you enjoy this show.
Yeah, man, I appreciate Rick Stockel for sponsoring the show today. He's a great guy, great coach, great realtor here in Virginia. Make sure you give him a call or check out his website over at rickstockel.com if you're looking for any homes in Virginia. Thanks again, and let's get into this episode. Welcome to another episode of BallinVA. And today I have my guest, VCU Ram Nation. Y'all gonna have to stand up for this one. First, before I start, because I told her that I was going to try to keep it simple, but I told her off camera, man, you know, Sydney has just been one of my favorite people. Her family's always been good to me. Your brother, TJ, you know what I'm saying? And if y'all missed out on a treat, that's all I'm going to just say. You know, the Richmond people, y'all going to get a little bit of backstory today on why I say why. But today, I want to introduce my guest here on BallinVA. Today, the newlyweds. I got Corey and Sydnei Douglas. Y'all know Sydney as Sydnei Archie, but Sydney is a married woman now, you know, in the words of Color Proper. She's married now, so you can't have her. So thank y'all for coming on. Welcome to BallinVA, y'all. How y'all been doing?
I've been good. We've both been good.
Yeah, good. Appreciate you having us.
Hey, no problem, man. Nice meeting you for the first time, Corey, man. Hey, man, I'm going to tell you something. You know, we as old folks, I feel like I'm old. I'm the OG now, what they say. I don't consider myself that, man. Y'all did it the right way, and I'm going to tell you why. See, and I know you probably got that from, you know, Mama Citra and Big T. You ain't waste no time, bro. You ain't waste no time. This is a beautiful woman here. Yeah. It's a beautiful woman. And as I try to tell women, when you see something, we go get it, okay? We go get it. So you know, they're gonna go into the store and tell how they met and everything like that. But I saw the engagement, next thing you know, y'all were married. I said, he ain't wasting no time. That brother right there got taste. I got to compliment you on your taste, bro.
Appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You got a winner here. Look, what the dream say? She's a 10. She's a 10.
No doubt.
Yeah, I know, man. Yeah, but welcome to the show, man. I got a gift for y'all first, so let me just go ahead and get that out the way. You know, get y'all a little wedding gift. Something simple.
Okay.
Something simple. Got y'all this nice bottle of red wine, the Woodbridge Red Blend. Okay. So this is a gift for y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Know, like I said, man, I understand that right there. I love that red. LeBron always talk about that red, and my boy CJ McCollum talk about that red wine. So I want to get y'all that first of all. Y'all can take that and crack it open for anniversary, whatever y'all want to do with it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That.
You're welcome. Y'all get the Woodbridge now. That's top stuff there. Yeah, but Sydney, I brought you here. I've been trying to get you here. Your dad was on my podcast when I was out there in the Chitlin circuit. You know, I was a small time doing them on Zoom, and you know, and I told him, I said, man, I got to get your daughter, man. When we gonna get Sid? Say it working, man. Say it working. Say it working. Yeah. So I got you here. Thank you. So let's get started.
Okay.
Sydney, where did it start for you?
Oh, it started, I started playing soccer, wasn't good at that. they put me in cheerleading, wasn't good at that. And so I started, they put me in basketball, but my mom said they wasn't really expecting much because, the other sports I played, I was terrible at it. And so I think they put me in upward or something like that.
Okay.
And my mom said she was talking to the other parents and telling them, she's probably not going to be that good and all that. And then when they blew the whistle or whatever, she said that I started dribbling out real fast. And they're like, that's your kid? And ever since then, I just kept playing. I kept wanting to play. My brother played before me. He's a year older than me. And my dad would just be working with him outside. Like, we had this driveway. That was like a dead end kind of. We set up a hoop out there, so he would be working with him, and I just wouldn't let up. I was kind of like, let me play, I want to work out too, and over time I just never stopped, and that's pretty much my dad put the ball in my hand. Yeah.
I was gonna say, man, your dad, he's a gentleman. Like I said, first of all, I want to say shout out to Big Torrance, man. He came on my show last year, and y'all ran the organization Crossover AAU. Him and your mom. Shout out to your mom, and definitely shout out to your brother, because your brother, Lil Torrance, he helped my son get through middle school, whether you know it or not. I'll tell you a little backstory. When we was Providence Middle, going way back, and I remember we ain't win no games that year. We had won no games. I think you were, what year you came out? You would have came out in 16, right, before you reclassed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you was ahead. I think, let me make a little quick story, but I think Torrance was one of the dudes, like Malik Confidence was just terrible, and just was down and stuff. And your brother used to always pick his head up, like, man, talk to man, Malik, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be all right. He was the 8th grade on the team.
Yeah.
Malik was in the 7th, won't get no time or none of that stuff. And your brother used to always just come around and just always have the same attitude and everything. And one game we played Salem, and it was like maybe like 5-6 seconds left on the clock, and he got fouled, and it was a tie game, and he won the game. Hit 2 free throws, swooshed them. Came back, man. Malik was like one of the first ones that hugged him and everything, stuff like that, man. And that was the only game we won that year.
Yeah, I mean, my brother's really kind. That sounds like him, even with me with playing and stuff like that, he was always just real, like, upbeat and encouraging.
Yep,
So,
never had no issues with him, never talked bad about anybody that I seen, always mannerable and respectful. So again, Lil Torrance, man, doing your thing out there, because he's in the military now, right?
he's not in the military anymore.
Okay.
He got out last year.
Okay.
And so now he's living in North Carolina.
Okay. Well, good. Lil Torrance, you see this, shout out to you, bro. But just to let my viewers know, because they probably want to know who I'm talking to, because I failed to do that at the beginning. Sydney and Corey just graduated. Both of y'all graduated at the same time, right?
Yeah.
From VCU, class of 2021. Both are, both basketball. They was played on the men's and women's basketball team. But locally for here, Sydney went to St. Catherine's. Formerly, before that, she went to Monacan. And before that, she went to Providence Middle. So that's where we're going to kind of go down. And when y'all know, y'all followers, y'all already know who she is. So I ain't got to say that, but anyway. So you say your dad put the ball in your hand. So after that, like, was it like at that point where he saw it in you, or he suggested that you should play, or what did he do?
Yeah, it was just basically just, for my dad, it was always like, if you want to do it, you'll do it, you'll ask me about it, So it was kind of like, it wasn't forced or anything like that. We had to be like, I want to work on this, I want to work out. And so for me, it was just the work ethic that he kind of like instilled in me, just to, he wasn't gonna, come on, let's go work out, you gotta work out, come on, let's go train and all that. It was kind of more so, if you're not gonna do it, I'm not gonna do it. But if you, ask me and you're committed, then he gonna put his all into it. So it just had to be, me just having that drive, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, so did you, was there any female players or basketball, let's say female, any basketball players you looked up to in general?
Yeah.
As far as that?
I really love Candace Parker. I love Tennessee.
I didn't even know that.
I wanted to be a Lady Vol when I was when I was growing up in basketball when I first started. So yeah, Candace.
See, Corey, I told you off air, man, and I didn't even know that. I swear I did not know that. I didn't even look it up, do no like bios or nothing like that. I swear I did not know that, but it explains of. I just wish, I don't know if you saw any footage of her playing in middle school and high school, man, but she just had that I don't care, like, you ain't beating me. And that's just where you, and you people gravitate towards that. So who did you play for, like, in association ball? Did you, like, play for the YMCA or, like?
So I did Upward, and then, like, my dad started putting us in just different leagues. So I did like some league in Henrico, like an I-9 league, where it was co-ed, and we started actually at James River. I think no, Explosion.
Okay.
And it was AAU, but we were in the I was like fourth grade, something like that, and so we would always play up, and it was just, I mean, I was decent, but I wasn't all that good. I was just real aggressive, so it was kind of like I wasn't getting better. And so then he took me out of AAU and then put me in rec ball for like A.M. Davis Elementary School. Yeah. And that's where I started to get, more aggressive and, trying kind of understanding the game a little bit more. And they always thought I was older, trying to check my birth certificate and stuff. But I was just so, mean and aggressive. I didn't really have any finesse, but I just wanted the ball, basically. And yeah, so that's kind of like what got me going.
A.M. Davis, wow. Because everybody was playing, it's either A.M. Davis or Reams. And everybody was playing that. And I put Malik in the city, so I didn't know where to send him to, because I was just like, I'm new to this Chesterfield thing. So, but yeah. So, I'm going to fast forward this, so when you get to Providence, did you go to Providence all 3 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was it like when you got to Providence? Like, was it you started to kind of like come into your own and like, as you're getting older, or what was it like?
So with Providence, I was still, my sixth grade year, I was still really raw. I was just really athletic, and, I got a lot of rebounds, but I wasn't making any putbacks. I was just, you could see the potential, but I was really raw. And then around seventh grade, I started to get a little better, but it was still kind of like, not really, I guess I needed some more skills. And then I would say, actually in seventh grade, I started training with David Anderson.
Okay.
And going to foundation and all that. And that's just when I really started like coming into my own and getting a better skill set, because with my dad, it was kind of like, working on post stuff and, the way that he played and stuff. And so when I started to train with David, I kind of got more of like a guard perspective, like a different perspective. And so once I started training with him, that's when in eighth grade, that's when I started to kind of, play really well and hit shots. I had, my mid-range game. I was playing all different positions. So that's what really took me off around eighth grade, and that's when I started getting more looks and recruited and stuff.
Yeah, but I think by that time when I saw you, because I'm trying to remember, seventh grade, I'm trying to remember, was Jeff still the coach there then?
Yes.
Yeah,
Jeff was still the coach in seventh grade. And then I think my dad came and started coaching in my eighth grade year.
Yeah. Tell them about, for the folks who don't know, tell them some of the players that you played with at Providence, like your seventh and eighth grade year, so for those who don't know, they can understand who this girl is or who she played with.
So Jaden Morris was on that team, and then Alex.
Parsons.
Alex Parsons was on that team, and then I think that was pretty much our main three.
Okay.
But
was Lolo play with y'all?
Yep, Shalonda played with us on the team too.
Yep. Shout out to all of y'all.
Yep, that's where we started, and it was just us. We didn't really have a bench, and my dad got us in there and just was strategic about how we was playing, and we didn't really have too many people that could guard us, so it was just it was real fun.
Man, I'm telling you, because back then I was like, man, I was so mad. I used to come to the games. I was like, man, we can't win nothing, man. The girls is better than the boys did, as it always gave. But shout out to David Anderson, man. He's been doing a lot of work and a lot of young ladies that he's helped into college, stuff like that. So definitely shout out to him and the foundation. But let's talk about this 8th grade year that, I was telling y'all off air. I was telling your husband about that. Yes, that's my favorite year because, you were doing your thing.
Yeah.
But talk about that game when I saw you and Megan going at it for the first time. You got can you remember some of the things that happened in that game? Because by the time I got to the game, you was already fouled out.
Yeah.
Y'all were down by 20, and you were just looking like you was mad with the world.
Man, I was mad because, it was a competitive game. I was looking forward to this game because, Megan was good and, just looking forward to be competitive. And it was a close game until, I think, halftime. And then they fouled me out at, the beginning of the third quarter.
Yep.
And so I wasn't in the game for the rest of the game. And, Megan just started going off. And they ended up beating us by 20. So, I was mad over it.
Doing the Megan Walker thing. And that's what I saw for the first time. But I was like, I said, Sid ain't want to talk to nobody after the game, man. I was just like, I said she was out. But like I said, you had Jaden, you had Alex Parsons. Both of them went on to play college ball and everything, for those in Richmond. And I think Jaden went to Ryder, George Mason, stuff like that. But then I remember the game at Clover Hill, the revenge game.
Yeah, I was ready for that one. I was just amped up. I was ready because already in my mind, I was like, the only reason why they won because I got fouled out. So I was ready for that one.
Hey, Corey, I wish she was there, man. That's all I can say. I wish she was there because she was just like, nah, this mine. Like, I left that game, and when y'all won the championship, y'all won the county championship, and me and Malik used to go argue with the people in Henrico because Malik was playing for Richmond Metro, which ended up being Team Swag, but our practices in Henrico, so a lot of people was like, the Henrico players was better than Chesterfield players. I was like, nah. No, we got some horses over here, boys and girls and stuff like that. So when you won that championship and then you went on, because I think you were playing for Boo then, weren't you?
I wasn't playing for Boo yet.
Well, you played for your dad.
Yeah, I was playing for my dad. I was going to play for Boo. So back then they had, invite-only tryouts. And they invited me when I was in 8th grade, and I went. And, I played well. I held my own, but I wasn't, scoring. I got a lot of rebounds, doing what I do. And, my parents talked to the coach after the tryouts, and he said he wanted me to be on the team, but, I might not play that much. And so just because I'm young and stuff, and my parents felt like since I would be away from them a lot, then maybe I wasn't ready. So I went back in 8th grade to play with my crossover.
Right.
In 9th grade, I went to play for Boo.
You went to play for me, Boo. Okay, all right, that's what I remember. So when your 9th grade year and you went to Monica and you started off, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And that's what I want people to know. I'm kind of giving it story, leading it up because this was Candace Parker, the Richmond version. And I know a lot of people think that it was always Megan, but Sydnei was first. And, and we all get into, I'm not going to spoil all that stuff like that, but she was first. So you went to Monica first. Who was that Monica when you was there? It was Michaela Parsons,
It was
right?
Michaela Parsons.
Okay,
yeah.
right. So y'all going through that year. Take us through that first year because I remember at some point in the season you got hurt. I can't remember so much, but I remember you got hurt.
So that season, it was basically me and Michaela who were doing basically all the scoring. Coach Starr told everybody, because he likes to break down the shot selection and stuff. Like, you should be shooting like 15 shots a game and, stuff like that. So we were supposed to be taking, most of the shots. We had a decent year. I had a really good year. I was kind of like averaging a double-double. It was just rebounds for me because Coach Starr kind of saw that I was, really aggressive on the board. So he really pushed that on me. So I kind of started snagging like one game against Midlow. I And this was the game when I injured myself, but I had like 20 rebounds in that game. So that's the stuff that gets me going. But yeah, that game, my Achilles, I had been having Achilles issues for the whole year. And now that I know that when I got to college, I didn't really have any Achilles issues because all I needed was insoles. But back then, I didn't know that, and I'm going to therapy, and I'm stretching my calves because they told me my calves were too tight or something like that. But I was having really bad Achilles problems, like I'm taping them up and stuff. And then in the game, I just felt something pop. And I thought that I tore my Achilles, but I could still move it and walk and stuff. But it used to get swollen after the game, so I decided just to give myself a little break at that time because I just really couldn't even walk all day. I'm kind of limping around. So that was the injury that kind of ended my year right then. It was towards the end of the year. We were kind of just going into, I guess, conference play. We played Midlos. So, I just didn't finish the season that season.
Wow. See, I didn't even know that part. I was like, I know we're coming to the games and stuff like that, but I didn't know what your injury was.
Yeah, and Michaela, I forgot what she did to her knee, but in the same game, she injured herself. So then after both of us was hurt, it was basically, in the season
End
for
of the
Monica.
season. Yeah, you ain't have much past that. Not to disrespect anybody else, but we know, y'all playing varsity, and if you don't have your star players, you don't have much of anything like that. But going to the 10th grade year, we're going to speed up a little bit. We're going to the 10th grade year, which was been that incoming Megan Walker, it come Jaden Morris, it come Lolo, Shalonda Wilkins, and then Alex Parson.
Right.
So like now, as we look back hindsight, did you look at them adding those pieces to which y'all already had and some of the role players that y'all had? Did you feel like that y'all could win state championship with all those players coming in?
Yeah, definitely. After the season that we just had, and Megan coming in and Alex coming in, it just felt like we were definitely going to win that year. So, yeah, I was confident.
Yeah, because Michaela would have been a senior, right? And that would be 10th grade year. Yeah, so, and I told him, and fast forwarding, so when did you get injured that year?
So
Tell us that story.
I got injured in a scrimmage against Petersburg High School. I don't know. I feel like I was fatigued a little bit. Practice was always hard at Monacan, so my knees were always hurting.
And this was 2015, right?
Yeah. And so it was against Petersburg High School. I went up for a block on a fast break, and I came down, and it was just, I landed funny, and I tore my ACL. Yeah. I remember I had Michigan State was at that scrimmage to come see me, so that was tough.
Wow, man. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, and this is the thing. Because I used to be arguing with these people on the sideline. I used to say, man, it's Sydney. Then we got Megan, because there was this dude that I knew. He was talking about Taya Robinson.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Taya too. But y'all three were like the biggest names in the city. Then, of course, you got to go over to Highland Springs because you had Bree Justice and all of them over there during that time. But I didn't really know them like that.
Right.
I'm just thinking to the people that I knew from Chesterfield on the south side.
Yeah.
But so
yeah, I met Taya when I was 6th grade, she was 5th grade, and we had a scrimmage at U of R practice facility, and I think she was playing for James River at the time, so crossover was scrimmage in James River, and I remember her coach, I believe Coach Will, came up to me and my dad and was like, yeah, this is the best 5th grader in the country.
Yep,
and I was like, I'm going to have to see her, just my competitive edge going. And so when we played, I was like, yeah, she's pretty tough. And it was always just respect from then. And after that, we kind of played AAU at different AAU teams. And then Taya ended up coming over to play a crossover on the same team as me. And
oh, wow.
My dad and her dad was coaching that team in 8th grade, and she was in 7th grade. And then after that, we both went to go play with Boo, and our dads were actually still coaching the team that
I
we
remember.
left. So it was kind of a weird situation. But that's when Megan was on that team, Taya was on that team, Gigi was on that team, JoJo was on that team, Michaela Stanley, and we were all real young. So it was a 10th grade team, and nobody was really over ninth grade. So they called us the Baby Boos. And it was fun to be with the team because, we had a bond, and me, Taya, and Megan got really close. It was still kind of like, competing and everything like that. And, the rankings and stuff like that. I remember when rankings came out, I don't even know. I wasn't in the top 25. And so, stuff like that, it gets to you because you feel like you're doing this, you're doing that. And I felt like, I'm not always the finesse player. Like, I'm not super finesse, but, I go hard, and that's kind of like my bread and butter. I make stuff happen. Like, I can still score. May not look like the prettiest, So because of that, I feel like I was kind of an underdog always. So that just kind of like fueled me to, I had a chip on my shoulder. So, but when it comes to playing on Boo, I would say that team was the best team I ever played on as far as just, skill-wise, talent-wise. And our coach really, pushed us in practice. It wasn't like going through plays and stuff like that. He was just all skill work. And it was just a really good opportunity for me to play with those players and on that team.
That is crazy because I didn't know. I thought you would at least been ranked because I don't understand these rankings. I don't know how they get that.
Yeah, I just, it's people's opinions, and it's a lot of politics involved. And, at the end of the day, I wasn't super, hurt about it, let it affect my confidence. It just kind of felt like a little slight, just because I felt like I was having a great AAU season. We made it to the Peach Jam and all of that. So it was just a little slight, I felt like.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a big slight on my end. I'm gonna say that because you have these rankings and these gurus, as I call them, and there's something that's called an eye test for me. They can rank somebody, then there's an eye test. I know what I saw, and I know what other people saw. And, I was like, man, Sydney got to be up there, but we didn't care it like that because we really weren't into rankings, but we just was like, man, Sydney can ball.
Yeah.
Like, you was a dog. And people don't use that like, Megan, I know the Megan fans are going to kind of say something to me about this, but Megan was more finesse.
Yeah.
And she had a very, very high skill set. And I did see that she was going to be a superstar because she had that skill set. But you just have what we call around, you just had that off. And it was just, what you had, they could not teach. And sometimes skill can only take you so far, but passion and you just were so relentless that you would just refuse to lose. You played with that chip. And that's how a lot of times you came out victorious. So a lot of times, people look at these rankings and say, okay, the skill set, but that don't mean nothing. I know what my eye test showed me. And I'm just like, man, y'all just, you don't know. But they got that one wrong. But anyway. But did you ever think that Megan would be the number one player in the nation eventually?
Yeah, I felt like she would. After middle school, she had a crazy growth spurt. She got long. And so I feel like that helped a lot too. And just continuing to play with Boo and getting that exposure. Because I knew the talent was there. And then when she grew, it's kind of like it took it to the next level. So, I wasn't surprised when that happened.
Yeah, because I was expecting y'all to win at least, I told you 4 straight championships at Monica, and you will get 3 because of that mishap, of not your injury, but of just more so that game that they could have won against Woodrow Wilson. But I'm not gonna go into that, Larry Starr. respect Coach Star, but come on now. And I just felt like that. I just knew that we just were going to have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
But I felt like that Monacan would have been the best team, not only in the state, but got a national ranking behind you guys. But something changed. Like after you got injured that second time, and you was out for the year, right? Your 10th grade year, right?
Yeah, I was out. So after my 10th grade year, I rehabbed and everything and got back on the court. And then I went to 40 for 40 camp with John Lucas, a John Lucas
wow.
camp, because I was just getting back out, and Boo wanted, Boo would take like a group to go to the 40 for 40 camp. And so he asked me to go with a group of other girls, and I was just getting back. I wasn't cleared to play yet. And so I went just because I was going to be playing on the team next year, and I just wanted to, Boo to see me play and all that. And I remember I wasn't cleared to play, and I don't really talk about this to a lot of people, but I got out there anyway.
Okay.
Because I don't know, I feel like that's kind of my downfall sometimes, just too competitive. And so I was out there, I was doing all the regular drills and stuff, but then live play, I wasn't supposed to be doing that, and I stayed in. And I remember Taya Cooper, I had the ball, and Taya Cooper, I don't know, she went for the ball, went for a steal, and that kind of spun me around, and everything in my knee just pop, 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 pop.
Oh.
And I fell down. I knew I tore it. I knew it was over, and I had just gotten cleared. I'm like, I tore this again. And so I came over to the sideline. I just sat beside Boo, and I was like, I'm done. And so we were supposed to be leaving the next day, and I think the day that we were supposed to be leaving, something happened with our hotel, and we had to go to a different hotel, and my knee just got so swollen. I mean, it was swollen.
Wow.
It was terrible. I couldn't bend it. It was all of that. And so, we get to the airport, and I'm limping through. It was so bad that I had to, get a wheelchair, get rolled through the airport and make it home. And I was like, man, I never wanted to see my mama so bad in my life. It was just a terrible experience. I knew I tore my ACL again, and I'm like, I don't know, how I'm gonna come back from this. So, but I kept rehabbing and trying to do what I can to get back, and that's when I was at St. Catherine's, and I came back and had 2 more years to play. So, yeah.
Tell, and I know you just went into a little bit about that, and, your injuries. Can you tell people, mentally, because I know, you got a lot of people that's out here, a lot of people tell me that they just watch it. You never know people's stories, but can you give a little bit of details of mentally how did that help you? We got everything with mental health and everything that's going on now. Did you want to just quit basketball altogether?
No, I never wanted to quit basketball.
Okay.
I knew I wanted to keep playing basketball. I know some people, when they get injured a lot, it messes with them and it takes away from the sport. But for me, I just wanted to get back out there and play. But as far as, my mental, it was hard for me because it was kind of like I was in an identity crisis because, I wasn't the type of kid that was real social, going out like my little sister does. She was homecoming queen and all that. That wasn't me. I just wanted to play basketball. So I didn't go to any of the parties. People was going to the mall and all that. I wanted to, I was an athlete. So with my injuries and stuff, it messed with, who I felt like I was. And just going from getting calls and letters and, interest and feeling like, I'm going somewhere, I'm this and that, and then I can't play. And, just being around basketball, my parents were AAU, and to me, I really love the game, and I'm just competitive. So being out there and seeing it and not being able to play, it was really tough on me. But I can't remember who told me this, but somebody told me just to try to be a student of the game. So I really took that and, started paying attention more to the game, studying the game more because, like I said, at the end of the day, the main goal was for me to get back out there. So for me, it was like, if I can't work on my game, I might as well try to do something that I feel like is going to make me better. So I thought in my head I was still getting better, So I would watch the game, think about, what people could have done or different plays, different sets that would work, how somebody's playing D, watching the ball. And, I felt like that helped me a lot with my attitude and love for the game. So, it affected me in the way that I was, sad about not playing. But to me, I felt like I was still trying to improve my game. So it helped me more.
Well, that's good to know. 'Cause like I said, I never ever talked to you about that, or ever got a chance to really see what was going on. Because I remember the next time I saw you was at St. Christopher's, and y'all had a game there or something. I know Malik and them had a game there, and I remember seeing you. I said, "Man, they could see it." I was like, "Man, I was just rooting for you because I just hearing that you, was over there and you playing for the legendary Coach Ed Sherrod Sr. And was Anna over there too? Anna Prilliman? Oh, she was gone by the time you got there.
By that
Okay.
time, yeah.
Yeah, but and I don't know you don't know much about Ed Sherrod as far as at that time when you got there.
Yeah.
But he is definitely a legend in these parts here. Playing a former NBA player, played for VCU, of course. And everything like that. Did your dad kind of let you know who he was and how would it be playing for Coach Sherrod?
Yeah, he let me know that, he played at VCU, he made it to the NBA, and he just had a lot of experience with basketball. But, that was just kind of like a plus to me because I knew I wanted to go to a private school and, to reclassify. And I went to visit St. Catherine's and I really liked it. So I didn't even really know anything about the basketball coach until I went to visit and I met him, and I didn't know anything about Ed Sherrod really. But, learning about him as a player and that helped me because, you could tell he played and he was a point guard and he knows the game. So he taught me a lot being there.
Well, that's good, and that's good. And like I said, we're gonna kind of fast forward to that, and I didn't really see you much because I know the private sectors, it's different than the public, and I was busy doing that thing, so I kind of lost touch with you. Can you give us just a little bit of your personal experience, how it was comparison of playing in the public versus private, and what your experience was like playing at St. Catherine's?
Public versus private, it was a little different in the way that being in a private school, all the girls, their main sport is in basketball.
Right.
So it's kind of like I'm the only basketball player where a lot of different girls, like their first sport is soccer or lacrosse or something like that. So it was different playing with girls that kind of like didn't take it as seriously as me. But Coach Sherrod was a good coach and, he had us real disciplined. Like we still had a team. And the competition wise, it wasn't as hard, I would say, as public school. But when we're talking about the better teams in private school, though, they were, because we still had Paul Six and Stab and, those teams, once you start getting, kind of deeper into the playoffs and stuff, they were tough. But as far as, just our division, our conference, it wasn't so bad. I mean, Anna Wilson was over at Collegiate, but I think I only played against her for 1 year because
She left.
Yeah, and then she left. So that was kind of like my rivalry, but once she left, it wasn't really much except for Stab, who was kind of like, all the games were far too. No,
They you know how it was.
They were about an hour away, so that was our competition. We never could beat them because they had so many pieces.
Yes.
And they recruited and St. Catherine's didn't recruit. We beat them one time, but once we got to the conference championship, we lost on, I think we were down by 2 points. and one of my teammates, you know, took the last shot. I wanted to take the last shot. So
I knew you did.
It was some kind of, you know, a little weird after that. But yeah, we lost to them, and pretty much it was fun. I had a good time. It wasn't the same,
though.
but yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say that. I know you kind of missed that competition on the other side over there at Monacan.
Yeah.
I want to ask you one question before we go into, move on to VCU. And I had the Monacan basketball coaches here the other day, the men's. And I told them when they won the 2016 state championship, I told them a story that I normally sit with these guys that I get a group of guys that come from 757 in Northern Virginia. And that year, of course, Monacan beat Lake Taylor. Mm-hmm. And Monacan boys, which we'd have never thought won the state championship. So, as you know, Malik should have went there. Him being friends with Wallace and Trayvon. And I told him a story that Malik was sitting behind the basket at the Siegel Center, right? And he was with his girlfriend at the time, and he was just sitting like this, like they was like celebrating. And all the guys was like, wait a minute, won't your son was supposed to go to Monacan? You took a state championship out of his hands. You took a state championship out of his hands, and I just saw him sitting like this. And I was like, so I picked up the phone and I called him. I said, Mo, I said, you all right, man? I said, are you? I said, and I don't know, as a parent, you do stuff like this. You'll get to that point when y'all have kids. And I was like, are you mad at me, man? Because, I didn't think they was going to win a championship, but these are your friends. He was still hanging with them. And he was like, nah, I'm cool. And I hung up the phone, but he didn't know where I was sitting at. But I saw him, he was sitting there like this. And I said, dang. So I'm going to ask you, did you feel any type of way when those girls was winning those championships and by being them know your friends? I know you were happy for them, but did you feel like that, man, you could have been a part of that, or you was there and because of life changes, things happen, you had to just move on to something else? Have it ever crossed your mind? I'm putting you on the spot here.
Yeah, I wish I was I guess I do wish I was a part of that, but at the same time, during that time, I had other stuff, kind of like on my mind. And winning a championship was cool and everything, but by that time, I kind of felt like it was a little watered down because they split up the conferences and everything, so it was kind of like, a little different.
Yeah, it was a little different.
But no, I would say I was just focused on
trying to get in college.
Get in college. And I felt like, I may not have an opportunity to do it in high school, but I still have an opportunity to get it done in college. So I wasn't that bothered by it. It was good to see them doing good.
I always wondered that, because all I was hearing is that you had like a lot of offers, like Miami. Somebody said you had Miami. I remember you mentioned Michigan State. What are other offers that you had, coming in before, like while you was, during the playing time, you was being injured and before your injury?
I had offers from Michigan State. I had an offer from Miami. I had an offer from Virginia Tech. I don't think I had an offer from UVA. And then I had an offer from VCU, JMU. I can't even remember.
But that's okay.
But at that time it was kind of like VCU wasn't really on my radar before I got injured. And I was just kind of like I always wanted to keep a school in Richmond, and my dad went to that school, so it's kind of like close to me, but I wanted to go far, so I was kind of really entertaining Miami.
That's what I heard.
And I was using the opportunity to have fun. My dad was having a great time going to all the football schools. I had an offer from Auburn. We went to a football game. We went to so many football games for visits and stuff like that.
I know he enjoyed that.
Yeah, he was having him a good time. But
and then your dad being from Florida too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we were supposed to go on a visit to Miami. He had already set up. He picked out what football game he wanted to go to. And I was thinking about committing. Then or if I liked the visit or something like that. But my brother went off to the military like a couple weeks before, and I was just really, I don't know. It was hard on me. So I got to thinking. I'm like, I don't know if I want to go all the way to Miami. I don't know if I want to go far anymore. And the situation with what happened when we were in Texas for the John Lucas camp, I felt all alone, and I wanted to be close to my family. So that was kind of in the back of my mind. So I decided to go on a visit to VCU and, see how I liked it, because my dad was still, talking to me about, you always have VCU. That's why we always say keep your homeschool and all that. And so I went on a visit, and I think it was the facility that really impressed me, because I am kind of a high maintenance player because of my injuries and stuff like that. They have really good facilities and rehab stuff. So
It was good for that.
it kind of, I was like, VCU's doing a lot more with this new practice facility. They look like they're putting money into taking care of their team and their program. And I'll be close to home, and my grandpa and everybody can come to my games and stuff. So I decided to commit right then and there, and I didn't even go to my visit to Miami, and it was just done after that.
Wow. See that? Yeah, we was hearing that you was looking at Miami, and I said, hey, man, I was just so happy for you, because I just wanted to see you win. And I knew that, Megan was coming and everything. Like, she was going to get her being the number one player in the nation. And you had, Jaden and Alex. And I knew Alex was going to Richmond. That was just a given.
Yeah.
But again, and I put you connected with that group because all of y'all were together. And those were some fun times. And I was just happy that you were able to go to school, get your education paid for, and, and the rest is history. And but moving on to VCU, that's gold, because this is where you meet your future husband. And now let me before I get to that, let me talk to Corey, man, because he been sitting here patient, man. You good, man. Corey, did y'all meet at the same? Did you come the same year she got there?
Nah, she was there the year before me.
Okay. So let me get a little bit about Corey. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you from, was it Kentucky?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So originally I'm from Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
I went to high school, public school, Ballard High School.
Okay.
In my senior year, I had some looks, a lot of like D1 looks, a lot of interest. But the biggest thing for me, like my weight, I think I was about 6'5", 6'6" at the time, probably weighed like 170. It wasn't like my ability to play. It was just, we don't know if you got the frame. We don't think you can compete when you come in. So one of the coaches at Samford University down in Alabama that was recruiting me pretty hard, he was like, hey, I went to this school, prep school in Virginia, Fork Union. I went there, I did very well, ended up getting some offers and stuff. He's like, I think you would really, benefit from doing that, going to do a post-grad year. So I thought about it. To me and my dad talked about it. We started looking into, doing a post-grad year. So it was down to Fork Union and Hargrave.
Okay.
So I had my visit to Fork Union already set up, and then I was going to end up going to Hargrave the following week. I was going to visit there. So we went down to Fork Union, seeing how it was. I was like, you know what, I'm just doing what I got to do to get to the next level. Like military school, it's going to be hard, but oh well, like both schools is military school, so I'm going to do what I got to do.
In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. So we ended up practicing. I played with the guys or whatever. Coach loved me. And he was talking to my dad, and he was like, yeah, so I kind of really want to get you to commit like now. What do you think? And he was like, well, he got another visit set up to Hargrave. I've heard a lot of good things about that program as well. And he's like, yeah, well, he's like, I'll tell you this. Like, Corey could go to Hargrave. He'll play. They got a lot of good players. So he's going to play. He's definitely going to play. He'll end up getting a scholarship where he wants to go. It'll work out. But he was like, if he comes here, he was like, he could be the man. I'm not sure if he's had situations like that before, but I want to get him the ball. I want to put him in a situation like that.
I like the way that sounds.
And that sold my dad. He was like, yeah, we ain't even take the visit
exactly.
We didn't even take the visit to Hargrave. So then I played there for a year, went from no D1 offers, a lot of interest, but then I ended up getting like 15 offers or so. They was kind of all spread out. I started getting some Power 5 interest as well. But by that time, I had like already made my mind up. I'm like, well, I want to go somewhere where I can play.
There you go.
I don't care about the level. I want to go in and play. That's the most important thing for me. And then my mom always was pushing education, so I was like, got to balance it out and go somewhere that I can at least, when I get a degree, I could do something with it. And it just happened to be my first offer was Rice University.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where Coach Rhodes, who is at VCU right now, he was there at the time. They recruited me. I went down there. My freshman year was pretty good. I only played 9 games. Started 8 before I had a hip injury. I had a hip impingement and I had a lateral tear in my labrum.
That sounds painful.
Yeah, so
That sounds painful.
so like just to give you an idea, so like your leg when it goes into the hip socket, it's like round like a ball. It fits perfect like this. So mine, after I got my X-ray and stuff, mine was shaped like a knuckle.
Oh.
So every time I would run or do any type of physical activity, it's digging into the labrum.
Yeah.
So I tore it. It was a slight tear. It happened right at the beginning of the season. So because I think I pulled my groin, and it's not getting better. It's not getting better. So then they look into it. It's like, all right, you got a tear. Well, the season just started. Like, we need you. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna push through. I got pain meds, taking those. It lasts for a couple weeks or so. I'm like, this is getting worse. I can't walk. I'm sitting down. It hurts. Like every time, it hurts all the time. They look at it again. It was like the doctor sat me down. Was like, Mr. Douglas, you got a high pain tolerance, don't you? I'm like, yeah, I do. He was like, yeah, because I don't understand how you even operating right now. He was like, your labrum's completely off.
Ooh.
Like it's not attached anymore. So I immediately had to go get surgery. They went in, reattached everything, shaved the knots off to make it smooth, and then so I had the medical red shirt that year. And at the end of the year, coach ended up getting the VCU job. So I'm like, man, I'm gone. I said, once he said that, I'm like, yeah, I'm gone. Like,
wow.
Like, this is a good school and all, but I came here to play for you.
Right.
It's already, like it's a different atmosphere. I'm like 16 hours away from home. Like it's really just like a place where like athletes got to stick together. Like it's a big divide between everybody, so it's hard like socially to move around. So I'm like, yeah, coach is gone, I'm gone. Once they like knew that everything was official as far as me putting my name in the portal and transferring, they coach reached out and was like, I would love to recruit you again. And but at the same time, we were still thinking like, I did just sit out this past year. If I transfer again, I'm gonna have to sit out again. So I decided to go the JUCO route, just to play a year, get my confidence back, and do that. So then I ended up at Tallahassee Community College in the Panhandle. Played against a lot of good competition down there, and things kind of took off again. I felt good, and then I ended up at VCU.
This is what I like to hear these stories because you don't know what people go through. We think that you in high school, you get the offer, you just go right there. But then there's the in between, where you have to go to the JUCO route, and and it's a grind. And I don't have an experience with that, but I'm just getting feedback from people. Like, you had to do it twice. So would you say the second time when you went to Florida, you had the experience from what you went through the first time? Did that help you?
Yeah,
as far as get through?
It definitely helped me. Just knowing about going into that experience again, like I'm getting recruited again, but I had an idea. I'm like, all right, I know what I'm looking for this time. Mm-hmm. I know what I'm gonna entertain and what I'm not gonna entertain as far as coaches and talking to them. Mm-hmm. Like at the same time, I already knew like if anything goes bad, like I got VCU. I got VCU. They know me. They already know who I am. I play for this staff, so I know I got that. That's really where I want to go, but I'm gonna test the waters a little bit.
There you go.
I'm gonna see who reaches out, and go about that route. And I did it for a little bit, and then once I really decided, I'm like, all right, VCU is where I want to go. It's cool to get these looks and everything, and it feels good, but I was like, I know what I'm stepping into when I go there.
I want both of y'all to answer this question, and I appreciate you, giving us that information because, people think it's very simple. What do y'all think about the transfer portal? Y'all out of college now. I mean, do you think it's a helpful for players? And Sydney, you can answer this too. I would like to get the response from both of y'all if y'all can, if you feel comfortable with doing it, because everybody don't feel comfortable talk about the portal. Like, do you think it's like a positive or a negative for thing?
I think that it's whatever, fits best with you. For me, I knew I wasn't gonna leave VCU. Even if me and my coach didn't agree all the time, it was kind of like, you can't deny me. I'm gonna still get better and keep playing. So that was just me. Sometimes I do feel like people transfer a little too early because, when you're a freshman, you come in and you don't know what to expect, and college is so hard, and playing ball is so hard as a freshman, just getting used to, the physicality and the speed of the game. And so, it's hard. It was hard for me. And I feel like at VCU, we lost a lot of players who transferred that could have been playing well, because you never know what happens. Like, someone could get injured, somebody else could transfer, our whole offense gets changed up, and now you've gotten better because, in college you get better every year. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, like you're supposed to be working in the off season, everything like that, that's how you get better. However, I feel like, people go do it a little too early in some cases. However, if you have a coach that is just, because not everybody gets a good coach in college, and these college coaches, are responsible for your whole life, like what you do day in and day out, what you eat, how you work out, what the workout's going to be, everything. You spend so much time with them. And, if that person is toxic and that person is, that's basically, running your life, is, you don't have a good relationship with them, then yeah, by all means, like, I feel like if, you feel like you'd be happier somewhere else, then of course. But if it's like playing wise, I don't know. I feel like, should try to stick it out a little bit, see if, maybe coach doesn't trust you yet, or, maybe you do have stuff to work on. But, I guess it just depends for me, I would say.
Corey, what you think?
For me, I'm kind of similar. Just it could be positive or negative. I really just feel like it depends on the individual situation. If you're going through it with your coach and it's some stuff, I feel like if you really got to look yourself in the mirror and just if it's you, if you're the problem and then you moving on, that's one thing. And like if the coach is like holding you back and like not really giving you that opportunity, then I get why you leave. And then sometimes it's more so personal stuff. Everybody's situation is different, but just I know like some people have that negative look on it, like, oh, you can transfer and then you don't have to sit out. Like in some situations it does help people out, and like you don't know what they're going through, and like they need to be there. And like other people, like they do need to sit that year, but it really just depends on the situation.
Yeah, because I'm glad y'all gave that different take on it, because you mentioned about you don't know what people's situation is at home. Like, let's take an instance, the kid at North Carolina, I think it was Garcia, and I think he left Carolina, he went home to Minnesota, and the transfer report, I guess there's no penalty, right? So he can actually go home. I think he had family situations where I think mom or somebody was dad was sick, and he was able to go back to Minnesota and play for Minnesota this year coming up. It allowed him to be closer to his family instead of being in North Carolina. You playing for UNC, and you worried about what's going on back at home. And with this transfer report, it does give the kids a chance to be able to do stuff like because a coach can leave with no penalty,
right?
I mean, you have to understand that, like, being an athlete, especially a D1 athlete, like, it's literally all that you do. And so, like, you up in the morning, you got class probably early in the day because you got practice. In the afternoon, you're in the gym for, like, hours. Then you got to go home, go to tutoring, maybe go to study hall, do homework and everything. So it's, a full-time job. Like,
Thank you for saying that.
it's no joke. You got to find time to eat. Sometimes you don't have time to eat. And then it's just like when that's not going well. So say maybe you're not playing, maybe coach doesn't like what you doing, maybe, not getting along with your teammates. It affects, like, you feel like it's your whole life that's, down in the dumps, because basketball is, literally your whole life. So, the mental health aspect is kind of like, I love that people are starting to talk about it more, but, it definitely is tough. So I've had teammates who have left VCU because they weren't playing much, and the next year one of our people got injured for the season, and that person could have been playing and contributing and doing well after, getting more in shape and getting, used to playing in college. And then I have other teammates who just don't get along with coach. Like, they don't mesh well with the program, with the system, and they go somewhere else. And, but in both situations, both of my teammates, it's no love lost, and they seem like they're happier in their new situation. So, I mean, I don't have nothing against transferring if you feel like that's what you need to do for your health.
Yeah, and that's big because, like you said, everybody's situation different. A lot of times, what we see now is people running. The first sign of trouble, they out of there. They gone.
Right.
Corey, did you see similar to what Sydney had on the boys' side, on the men's side? I said the boys and men's side. Like, do you have a lot of guys that come in and a lot of transfer out a lot of times because maybe with Coach Rhodes, they didn't get along with his system or fit into the plan, or I guess they felt like they was going to get playing time, or, did you have any experiences with that? Not you personally, but did you see any of your teammates go through anything like that? And without having to really elaborate on that.
Yeah. There's definitely, I mean, people come in. It's one thing, when you're recruiting somebody and then you don't actually know what you're getting until you actually get them. They get in and you realize, like, they don't fit our system, or they're not playing the way that we want to play. Then, I mean, you just got to go. Like, it just is what it is. It's a business. Like, we got to win, and, like, you coming in, if you're not helping us, then you got to go.
Yeah, because if you don't win, the coach get fired.
Yeah.
So, it's all about that. But I'm glad. Thank y'all for giving that, because I know people who gonna be watching this, they're gonna be like, man, you guys telling what the day is like for a Division I athlete, whether it's football, as football, basketball, whatever. But at VCU, Corey, your day was similar to Sid's, as far as, like, can y'all give us, like, just real quick before I go back to Sid, like, what is the time frame that y'all get up? Like, what is the average day of y'all? Like, y'all get up at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning? What time do you start your day, and what time do you end your day?
For
Both
me,
of y'all can answer that.
For me, it would be, I'm probably going to start my day right at 7, maybe a little bit early, because I got to get treatment in the morning. Because I was a high maintenance player as well. I had a lot of injuries. So I start off with treatment before that, for anything. And then lift, that's probably sometime in the morning before class. Might go to 2-3 classes. After that, try to grab something to eat, because practice is going to be right around 1:30 or whatever. So you get in there. And then even if I do, I might grab something to eat. I might not, because I also got to work out before practice. I got to get my extra shots in. I got to do my other stuff. So do all of that beforehand. Then we get into practice, film. After practice is over, you got to get more shots up, work on some stuff. After that, then we're going to eat. Study hall.
That's a whole lot, man.
Homework, whatever that is. Then I might have a night class. And then I'll call it a night.
Wow. Sid, how about you? Same thing?
Similar. I mean, I was a science major in college, so I had to do morning classes and stuff because that's the time that those classes were held. So, I would be in class at 8 a.m., so I'll be up probably around, I will push it to see how late I could wake up, but at the latest, probably like 7:30, be in class probably until noon. And then I used to have to get picked up from from class to get to practice real quick because my class ended at like 12 50-ish, and practice was like at 1:30, and you're supposed to be on the court 15 minutes early. I gotta get taped, I gotta get rehab, so I used to get drove over to practice facility, and then we're in practice for anywhere between like 2 hours to 4 hours. So we be in the gym for about 4 hours. Then we probably have weights after practice. After that, we had to get treatment. So I would probably be in the gym on an average day during the season, probably like 6-7 hours. And then we got to leave. Tutoring after that, mandatory tutoring. And then you got to find time to eat. I probably wouldn't have eaten because, I got to go from class straight to practice. And find time to eat, probably eat some, because you get hungry later. They give you the meals, and sometimes that's not what you want. And then do homework, and then get up, do it all over again. So it's a full day.
Man, that is wow. I can't even imagine. But because you're not a parent, people look at the glitz and glamour. It's like, I'm getting an offer and I get to college, but you don't too much hear about what happens after that. We're just seeing.
Yeah, and it's all about, producing. And so, like he said, it's a business. So in college, if you are not producing on the court, if you're, not giving your coach what you want, then it's like you kind of like disposable a little bit. So it's still that added pressure for the sport too, because if it's not going well, if you're not playing, then that's gonna affect everything about your life. So it's just that added pressure on top of that too.
Yeah. Ain't no parent interaction in college. People, they so used to the parents and AAU coaches coming on, in high school. But when you get to college, all that stuff ceases, right?
Yeah,
The course and But Sid, going into your, tell us about your college career. Like, what was your experience like, and was it fun? Was the highs and lows? Just give us some. Just tell us what it was like. You got playing with Taya, and you're playing at home, and your parents get to see you. What was that experience like?
It was a lot of up and downs.
Okay.
Just because my relationship with my coach was kind of like, on and off. It was like a love-hate sometimes. When I first got to VCU my freshman year, it was a lot of freshmen that came in. I think it was like 5 freshmen. And, they had a losing season before then and lost a lot of seniors, so it was kind of a young team. And, it was hard for me, just adjusting to college. And I was doing a difficult major, so it was hard for me to balance school and basketball and everything. And it was just kind of like I was constantly struggling. I started off the year starting at VCU. And then I remember one of the juniors, the girls that were, older than me, she got injured, and then she came back. And so the game that she came back, I started, but I came out real soon, and she put her in, I guess, because she was a veteran or whatever. So for like a lot of the season, my freshman year, it was tough. Like I wasn't used to being not playing. Like one game I actually didn't play at all.
Oh, wow.
So I wasn't used to that. Like, I'm from Richmond. I've always been pretty much the best player on my team. So It was kind of like, I was mad because I felt like I was slighted. I didn't feel like the girl was better than me. So I kind of sabotaged the whole rest of the season. Like my attitude was terrible. I wasn't going hard in practice. I was just like, whatever. And, I had to have a talk, with my parents about it, because they kind of like, they keep me grounded. Like, even though, we have our ups and downs too, if I really need to talk about something, figure something out, then, they'll set me straight, about it. So, they came to the dorm one day because I was having a rough time, I don't know. And we were just sitting outside, in the car just talking, and I'm just talking about how angry I am, and you know, after one of the games that I didn't play, and you know, they just told me, you know, you got to stop feeling sorry for yourself, and if you're not having the same, you know, mindset to want to get better and do what you got to do, then, you know, what are you here for? Are you going to leave? Like, what you going to do? And so I had to sit there and think to myself, like, doing what I'm doing is not going to get me what I want, you know. So I had to make some adjustments to, you know, my attitude and, you know, get my confidence back. Because at that point, my confidence was pretty shot. And I was just thinking too hard, and I was tense out on the court. So then once I decided, you know, in the car with my parents, I decided I'm going to let everything go. And, you know, I had a meeting with my coach, and we was, like, real honest about, you know, things that was going on with the team and my playing time and stuff. So after that, I just started, I was just, you know, I'm going to be more aggressive offensively. Like, I felt like my coach was, she said a lot about defense, but really I think that the games that I scored more, you know, I'm playing more and stuff like that. So I, you know, just decided to let everything go and just be aggressive offensively. Don't think, don't be afraid to mess up, and just, you know, go hard at it. So then after that, like, I think the next week I was back starting, and our team was terrible that year. It was terrible my freshman year. I think we only won, how many games? Like, it's blurry because I feel like I, like, pushed it out of my mind, but we didn't win more than 10 games. So we were terrible. And I think it was just because we were so young, and, you know, the lineups kept switching around. So it was kind of like, I think my coach was getting a little, you know, panicking a little bit.
Yeah, trying to figure it out.
Yeah, trying to figure stuff out. And it was kind of like we didn't really have no consistency or anybody who, like, a consistent squad, lineup, rotation. So it was hard for us to get, you know, in the groove. But towards the end of that year, that's when we started to pick it up and play better. I mean, we still wasn't going to win no conference championship or anything like that. But that was, you know, it was a good end for us because we almost beat Dayton, and they were like the top team in our conference. So we felt confident after the season.
Okay.
And then after that, you know, we just kept getting better. We didn't want to keep losing. Like, we had Taya on the team, and then a couple of my other teammates were really competitive too. So it was like, nah, we're not going to keep losing like this. So we got a lot better over the off season. And the next year, we went to the conference championship. We were ranked like 4th in the nation defense, scoring defense. And it was just a really good year. We lost to Dayton in the championship. And the year after that, we made it to the conference championship again, and we lost. And so then my senior year, it just felt like it was that time. And it was just, you know, destiny. Like, all of us, it was our senior year. We grew up together. We came in together. Like, and we've been making it to the championship. Like, now it's time. Like, it was nobody else's. And, you know, that year I kind of got, you know, with my mental health and everything that was going on, it was just a lot going on in my life. So I started to get in a little bit of trouble at school, and not at school, but like with the dorms and COVID and stuff. Like, I was kind of, I don't know, I was a little bit all over the place, and I had never gotten in any, you know, issues or anything before on the team. And so it was kind of like my coach wasn't used to that, and I was in a bad place. So it was just, I felt like I wasn't supported, and I felt like, you know, my coach knew what was going on with me in my life and stuff like that. So it was just hard for me to, like, balance basketball and, you know, everything that was going on with me mentally. So, you know, I remember one practice, because for some reason, I don't know, I guess I was angry, I don't know, but my coach had this thing with me where she's like, you get too mad on the court, you talk to the refs too much. But, like, you know, before, it was like when you recruited me in my sophomore year and everything, it's my passion, you know, like, that's just how I am, you know. It's not affecting me in my game in a negative way. It's just, you know, me showing my passion. And before it was good, and then once some things happen or whatever, it was kind of like, anytime I disagree with a call or something, I would had to like run a lap or some stuff like that. And it was just like taking a toll on me. And, by my senior year, I felt like I wasn't having any fun.
Okay.
But at the same time, I was having a great season. Like I had a few double doubles. I was real comfortable. I was scoring. I felt good. And so it's kind of like I was feeling good while I was playing. Like the rest of everything with being a student athlete was really getting to me. And so, it was one practice, things went left, and I kind of just walked out. I walked out of practice, and I went to the locker room, and I left the practice facility, and I didn't go back. And so I stopped like right before conference play because I felt like I don't know, I felt like I wasn't going to make it through the season.
Wow.
And so, the team was good though. Like we were good. Like we were already going to win the championship. And so I wasn't playing during conference play. I didn't play for the rest of the season. And that year, like they ended up winning the A-10 championship. And like it was like, oh, again, like,
Right.
I was kind of, it was tough. Like I would say this would be the hardest time in my life because at one point I didn't feel like, I could keep going with playing basketball. I wasn't having no fun. And then on the other hand, like everything that we was working for, everything that we talked about with my teammates, like I wasn't there for it. And so it was tough when they won the championship. At the same time, I was really happy for my team. I was cheering for them the whole time. I used to still go to games and stuff. But, when we won the championship and everything and all the pictures and stuff was like, dang, But, looking back on it, I wouldn't change anything. Like, I'm still standing on that. Like, I wouldn't change anything because, I wouldn't have met my husband, Corey. I wouldn't have, even because we didn't even start talking until my senior year. So,
Yeah, go into that while we there. Go into that. I'm gonna pour me some water on this one. Like I ain't got no alcohol.
Well, he came a year after me, and I was a freshman, but we didn't really talk like that because he's shy. I talked to him one time, and he was like acting like he didn't want to talk to me. I think it was his birthday or something the day before that, and like because we practiced in the same practice facility. So like it just so happened we were walking down the street at the same time, and like I was like, it was kind of awkward. So I'm like, "You just had a birthday, right?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Happy birthday." And he was like, "Thanks." And then he just like sped up walking and was like,
"Oh, so you were shooting your shot?" Indirectly.
I was just seeing what was up. I was being nice.
Okay. All right.
Because I feel like he had a girlfriend or something at that time or something like that.
Okay.
And so I was just being nice because, we be in the same practice facility. I'll be trying to talk to them. I'll be like, hey, or whatever when we see each other. So it's not awkward and whatnot. But, yeah, how we started talking was he DM'd me. And I was kind of messing with somebody at the time. I was talking to somebody.
Okay.
Well, actually, yeah. And I told him that I wasn't curving him, but like, no, basically. And
okay.
And I was like,
I'm like, okay.
I was like, I have something going on right now. I wouldn't want to drag you along or no complicated stuff.
We heard that before.
And all of that. Like, I was serious though. Like, I didn't want to, I had stuff going on. And I was trying to be respectful. Usually back in the day, maybe like sophomore year, I would have, still, have my cake and eat it too. But I was I felt like I liked him. We didn't really talk, but it was always like, hey, he was always say, hey. He seemed like a nice dude. Like, I respected him. My teammates spoke highly of him. So I always thought he was a cool dude. So I was like, I don't want to do all that and whatever. And so then, what did I say? I said
you was like, I got something going on right now, but like if I figure that out or whatever, I'll let you know. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah, that's like the worst, right?
Yeah, I'm just like, all right, yeah, it sounds good. And then like a couple weeks go by, and she like said something about my dog, and I'm like, I'm like, all right,
Yeah, right. See, we have to figure that out,
yeah, you
right?
like she brought because it was a picture, but like it was like on my story. Like I don't even know my story. Like, where was it?
It was
on
in
my
his
highlights. It was in my highlights, and I'm like,
And I was
I'm like,
clicking through
I was like,
one
oh, so she
time.
been on my profile. She done clicked on my joint.
Yeah, so that lets you know.
So I'm like,
yeah,
all right, she
uh-huh.
thinking about it. She thinking about it.
it.
So maybe she not curving me. And then like another week go by, and then she was like, hey, this is me sliding back. And I was like, all right, cool.
Wow.
And then after that, we hung out and we just be with each other ever since. Like, I don't know, we just make a good team. I guess it's because, we play basketball, we speak the same language. He's just my best friend. So, like, when I was going through everything I was going through on the season, like, he was there. Like, he was my rock. He was always, I felt like he helped me a lot with everything I was going through. And in a way that was kind of like, I didn't have to talk to him about it. I didn't have to like tell him everything. It was just always, when I was with him, it was just, I could forget about everything and just be in the moment. So, we got real serious real fast, to be honest. And, it's still kind of a little scary because we both were in like some toxic relationships before, but, the trust is always there, and, we love each other.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, man. Listen, that's like I was trying to figure out how y'all swing it. Like you playing basketball, y'all did it with school. Like, where did y'all even have time to even
Really, like it was. I mean, just because like the whole COVID thing. So then it was like, all right, we can't really hang out with nobody anyway. So like, you on the same protocol I'm on,
right?
Like,
yeah.
So
yeah, how was that for y'all as athletes?
So we couldn't be around like other people during COVID. We could only be around like in our bubble and stuff. So that also, we were on kind of like on the same protocol. So it was natural. It was easy because we both had, busy schedules. And by the end of the day, it's like we just want to chill. And so being in a relationship with somebody who's not a basketball player or athlete at the level as you, it can be difficult because they don't really understand, like, you don't want to go out all the time, because on the weekends I'm tired. Like I've been playing any off day. Like I'm not really trying to go out, get crazy, whatever. Like that wasn't me. I mean, with my teammates and stuff like that. But like sometimes, you just want to chill, always making moves. And so for us, it was just kind of like we were always together. I had to go to his apartment all the time because the women's basketball was staying in kind of like a dorm and they didn't let guests come in. So like I had my pit bull at the time and he had his dog, and I would walk over to his apartment with my dog, and we would all be in that little tiny room in his apartment and just, having us a good time. Just, and it's just natural because, we had the same schedule and we speak the same language. It was perfect timing. Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, I was seeing the pictures. I said, I said, y'all dating on Instagram. I think I had just started getting on Instagram during that time. I was late. And then I was like, man, I said, Sid doing her thing. And then, like I said, I was like, who's the guy? Because, I'm thinking that maybe, maybe somebody that I know. I'm like, I don't know him. He must play on a team or something. I don't know, And the next thing you know, man, I'm seeing an engagement, and I said, he ain't playing. And I said, I know if he had to go talk to Big T and See-True, I'm like, okay, all right. I said, I don't know if he was the daddy, your uncle, what I'm saying? I ain't know who you hollered at.
Man, he said something one time where he was like, that's like me asking you to marry me, but, you wouldn't be ready. And I'm like, we already live together. Like, why wouldn't I be ready and stuff like that? I felt like he was
wow.
kind of feeling me out. And then he started talking about kids and stuff and all that. So then I was like, well, we need to be married.
Yeah, I would go. I knew that was
skipping some stuff and all that. So that's really what I guess got the conversation going. I guess every relationship reaches that moment where you kind of like tiptoeing around it a little bit, like So that was how we communicated to each other that we were ready. So.
Sound like Corey, you sound like you knew. You was ready, man.
Yeah.
'Cause I was like, yeah, you very like shy, and I was like, Sydney is like, she's okay, let's just put it in basketball terms. She trained to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, and was that what attracted you to her, or was just like, we turned this to a relationship show. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go too much into that, but I'm just saying, like we know, like Sydney, like, man, Sydney, like, ball, but like outside of that, I never really had much conversation about, to Sydney. So like, I mean, what was it that?
I mean, first of all, you know what I'm saying? Like, she beautiful, so automatically you gonna be attracted. So then, like, it's just the energy for real, though. Like, she just got that positive energy around herself, and it just make you, you know what I'm saying? You fall for it.
Yeah, man, she dope person though. Dope person.
Thank you.
She always been like so cool to approach.
Yeah, she cool and chill. Like, as you can see, I'm kind of shy. I don't really talk too much, but when I get with her, like, nonstop, I be having to catch me. I'm like, yo, I'm talking too much.
He balances me out, because sometimes I could get a little crazy, a little amped up, but he's mellow, so
That works.
it is like once I start tripping, I'm like, I look over at him and he's chilling. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm doing too much, or something that I'm getting, that's bothering me a lot. He's just like, chilling. It makes me think, okay, you can relax about that. You know what I'm saying? So we balance each other out.
Man, that was good, man. So how long have y'all been married now? Like for like a year?
Not even. We got married in June. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. It just recently happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So y'all engagement was for how long?
November.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it was like
late October. It was like literally like the last week of October.
Mm-hmm. About seven months.
He said he won't play. He won't let you go. It's like, nah, I'm going to wrap this thing up quick. We try to have some kids. We go do the daggone thing. Man, I'm going to tell you, man, y'all pictures were beautiful. They were really nice, man. And I just was like, wow, man. And watching her from somebody who I saw in middle school up to being a grown woman now, and being her parents, like I said, the people of God, and like I told you, your dad, and like I said, I had more of a relationship with your dad than your mom. Your mom was always cool, had no problem with her, Covey and everything like that. But your dad, man, for me, has always been a stand-up guy, because my relationship has been with him more than your mom. Mm-hmm. So I tell people, like, it's like, well, you don't want to talk about it. No, I had a relationship with who I had a relationship with. Right. And I didn't even know your little sister. I didn't even know too much about her until I saw her playing in middle school. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I told her, you know what? And I don't know if she ever remembered that she was in middle school. I said, your issue going to be because everybody going to compare you to your sister. Mm-hmm. And I hate that because it's like, well, that's Sydney's sister. You know what I'm saying? What's your sister name anyway? I can't think of sister's name.
Her name is Sienna.
Sienna, okay. Mm-hmm. It was like, that's Sydney's sister. It's always that. So it's like, yeah, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, as far as basketball goes, it was kind of like I was the one who everybody knew, but she's definitely more outgoing than I was. I mean, at school, she had all the friends. I remember I was at Wendy's one time and somebody was asking me, "Are you Sienna's sister?" And I'm like, oh, that's never happened to me before. I guess some kids that went to Monica and was working at Wendy's. I don't know. But I'm like, you got people asking me about you and stuff. So she took a different route. She was playing basketball.
Yep.
And she was just, it wasn't it wasn't her passion. I respect that, and it's kind of like, you know, not forcing yourself to do something you don't want to do. Like,
Yep.
oh, she got her a job, she make money, she, you know, world's best dress, got all the clothes and stuff. Cause I was broke, cause I wasn't working no job. I was trying to,
You playing
you know,
ball.
yeah. So she make her own way, and she's at state now. So
Okay.
you know, she's doing good.
Well, I tell you, man, you know, it's just it's how can I say it? Life is just funny, man. And I'm just seeing how I feel so old now. Cause I'm just like you get married, you know what I'm saying? You got married and you know, now I'm like, where kids coming? I like that y'all talk about that. You got kids on the horizon. So before I go into that, before we wrap this up, what are y'all doing now? I know you're a teacher now, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a teacher at Hungry Creek Middle School. It's
Okay.
in
There you
Henrico.
go.
So I teach health and PE, and it's
Okay.
really fun. You know, my major in college was health, PE, and exercise science. So after college, I got my certifications and started doing personal fitness training and stuff. But it wasn't it like for the time being. So I feel like personal training would be something that I want to do kind of like on the side or in the summer or something like that. But I got into teaching, and it's just really fun just being with the kids. I mean, it's exhausting sometimes, like just hearing your name all day. And, you know, sometimes kids don't understand
Damn.
how things they do come off. So, you know, it's a challenge, but I do have a lot of fun with them. And, I coach the basketball team, boys and girls.
Okay.
So that's fun. The girls are in their season right now, and we won. We're 2-0 right now. Both of our games, we won by 40 plus points. So we got a squad this year.
I'm about to come out there. See, I'm
Yeah.
glad you told me that. See, I
Yeah.
ain't even know.
Coach Douglas is helping me too. We
Yeah,
really been
see.
coaching them up. So like, you know,
That's right. Come
our
on, they
squad
get
is
D1
nice.
training and
Yeah,
coaching.
right.
That don't
So
usually happen.
and it's just for fun, you know. You know, they struggle to get coaches anyway
Yeah.
for middle school. And so I play basketball. I'm not coaching anything else, but I'll do basketball. And, you know, I'm starting to really love it. Like, I like coaching. And my dad was a great coach, so I feel like I'm be acting like him sometimes. But, you know, it's just all just we love basketball. And it's something that we could do together and have fun and try to get the girls better. So I'm just going to see where it takes me. Who knows?
Good. You never know. You never
Yeah.
know. Corey, you know, what's going on with you?
I work for VCU Athletics right now.
Okay.
I'm the assistant academic coordinator with the men's basketball team.
Okay.
And I also teach freshmen. Intro course to just the university itself. So I work with them, with the team, helping them pick their schedules, tutoring situations, anything academics. I also half my time too I spend on the like professional development side. I work with the director of student athlete development and whatnot. So I help with the events and all of that, and just helping them grow as people. I just feel like my calling is to help people in general. So being able to give back to the student athletes, I know I get a big joy out of that. Still being a part of and I get to be a part of the team. Time to time I go over and
Yep.
practice. I get out there with them, so it's pretty cool.
Well, that's good because I was going to ask you, like, you didn't decide you never wanted to go overseas and play ball?
Yeah, I mean that was always the plan I was going to. And then like just my entire career, especially just college, I had so many different injuries as far as my hip and then my foot. I've had like 6 different stress fractures.
Nah.
Then I had surgery on my foot like right before my last year. So it's just like I'm like I could probably go and play maybe 2-3 years before all of this probably catch up to me again, or I'm not gonna get the same type of treatment and whatnot. So it's gonna be hard. Like I'm gonna be doing it on my own. I ain't gonna last too long, and I know long term, like I want to do some big things as far as like in the professional world. So I'm like, I
Okay.
might as well go ahead and get started now.
There you go. And that's the thing, you know, because, you know, I remember I was talking to Malik back in the day. He said, Dad, I don't ever want to play professionally. He said, so there's no need of me trying to really pursue something in college. I just want to go straight into that's because he's an exercise science major too.
Okay.
So that's the thing when you said that and you passed your certification. How many times did it take you to pass it?
Just once.
Oh, you got lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, Malik on number 2.
Oh, yeah, it's tough. A lot of studying. And
Yeah, I feel sorry for him, but he been putting in that work. But I was like, son, you gonna get it. You gonna get it.
It's not an easy major to do.
Yeah, because he applied for a job at VCU, and I know he had to have his certification and stuff like that. So
he'll get it. Just, keep studying it. It'll work out.
Yeah, we'll get that. But y'all, I want to say, I keep thinking like it's something I'm leaving out, but man, y'all were great because I didn't know what to expect. Because I said, I was like, Sid may not open up. I said, I don't know, maybe have to get it going. Because usually, look, I have to have the alcohol out here to get y'all going. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah. Normally, that's why if y'all ever look at my podcast, I normally have the alcohol, but I said nope. And I know your mom, and she's big on religion and stuff like that. So I never seen your mom drink.
Man, we grown.
Well, I know, but I know Mama gonna be looking on this, and I don't want Mama to be calling me. And Mama, I see her. I know you can be watching this. I know your baby grown. She's married now, but there's still the respect, and I don't want nobody to be. Charles be calling me, hey man, it's all fun though. I'm just joking. I'm just joking, but I was just like, because some people I have to really get them going.
Yeah.
And some people I know I say, you know what? I get the mimosas, and I say, no, today I'm gonna keep
mimosas?
it. Yeah, I normally do that. But I was just like, but then y'all be really talking. Ain't that right, Ray?
Yeah.
Look, this thing would have been 2 hours.
Get him going.
Listen, if I'd have had the mimosas, it would have been a 2-hour podcast for sure. We'd have been like another extra 30, 45 minutes. So I said, no, I want to keep it organic, and I just want to kind of keep it simple. And this is an interview I just been waiting for, and I told y'all this off air, but I told you, ain't too many people that I really mess with. I reached out to you. It wasn't where she DM'd me or I want to be on your show, because I get that all the time.
Right.
But I've been wanting you to come on so bad because I wanted people to know what you went through, to hear your story. And that may not have been important to you, but I just felt like, and I even talked to your dad about it. I was like, man, on air, I was like, man, Sid, and he wanted to tell me what he felt and stuff like that. And he was like, when Sid get a chance, she gonna come around, she gonna talk about it. And I thank you because you kept your promise to me.
Yeah.
I saw you at VCU. I mean, not VCU, Ben Wallace. You said, I ain't forgot about you.
Right.
I'm gonna come on.
It just take me a little while, get myself together with life and everything. But yeah, I'm glad you asked because it was fun. I'm glad I came.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I get to meet your husband for the first time because I saw him at Love Day, and I saw you was playing. It was like at the beginning, and then I was like, okay. And I said, I never get a chance to meet him again. I saw you and stuff like that. But I'm so glad that we were able to hear, no distractions, and I thank you for coming on, because I'm telling you, I'm gonna get a lot of feedback from your story, because both of y'all are playing, y'all Division I athletes and going through the recruiting phase, and people want to hear. I get a lot of DMs on that, like Team Loaded, Team Richmond. They hit me and say, man, can you play that clip? Cut me that clip of so-and-so saying this? And I'd be like, so I know what you did, because I got a lot of hit last nights on Jasmine.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, can you cut me that clip what Jasmine said? So I put out certain clips of people doing that, and they need to hear that.
Yeah, they do. I'm glad that, we could be the people that send that message to people who, might need to hear something like that.
Yeah, you never know what people go through. You never know. But I want to thank y'all VCU Ram Nation, 2 of y'all finest here, right here. Y'all probably got one of the biggest fan bases ever. So please like, subscribe, and comment, on this, because this is how we keep these lights on. My man Ray, shout out to Ray Crosby, class of 2021, VCU, that's doing this. Got to shout you out, bro. And from everybody here, staff and everybody at BallinVA, we are out. I appreciate y'all watching the episode again today, y'all. Go over, make sure that y'all check out my man, Stockel.com, for any of your home buying needs. Appreciate it. Thanks again.